A play on words to understand percents. Let's start with the word percents and what that actually means. Per, that's just a word that means for each. And cents is just short for century, also known as 100. So let's follow along in this scenario. This gentleman has $100. From that $100, he's going to put some in a savings account. He's also going to pay a bill, and then the rest he's just going to keep in his pocket. So, what percent of his money went to the savings account? So, remember, all we're doing is just playing around with what the words actually mean. All right, so let's go back and revisit. Percents, by definition, is basically saying for each 100. If $15 out of his $100 went to savings, then that means 15% was towards savings. What if we were to take a look at the other amounts, like the utility bill and what he was able to keep? What would those percents be? If $35 out of $100 paid the utility bill, then 35% was towards the utilities. So what percentage did he keep for himself? And you can pause right here just for a second before you see the answer. So if you follow the other examples, you would see that he kept 50% of his money. So this is the fundamental concept. And remember, this is when he has $100. Calculating percentage of money when a person has $100 is extremely easy because that lines directly up with the definition. To understand percentages or have a deeper understanding about percentages, we have to know what if he does not have $100. How will we calculate the percentages then? So we will begin by dissecting the $100 example first. So $15 of $100 equals 15%. All right, so we're almost ready to look at what happens if he doesn't have $100. So let's go back to this ratio that I have set up. I'm going to go ahead and move it right about here. And let's think about what this means. So when you see this one is letting me know that the $15 is, right? The $15 is 15%, right? Of 100. So this is the wording that gets us to figuring out percentages even when that number is not 100. Is over of equals percent over 100. So let's try a few examples to see this in action. So a farmer picked up a harvest of 200 apples. 4 of the apples were rotten. What percent of apples were rotten apples? We must first set up the ratio formula. All right, so let's see. It says a farmer picked up a harvest of 200 apples. So that means I would definitely have to start off by at least putting my 200 there where it says of 200. The next thing is the part that I have underlined. It says what percent of the apples were rotten. So the percent is what we're trying to find. So that means the 4 is the number that represents is. So we'll solve this by going in a diagonal. So that means I'm going to multiply these two, and that'll give me the 200, and we're going to figure out the percent. Whereas over here, I multiply that one, and I'll get 4 times 100, which is 400. So we're trying to find the percent. So to find the percent at this step, now I can just divide 200 on this side, and I can divide 200 on that side. And what that leaves me with is the percent. So the percent is equal to, and this answer is 2. So 4 equals 2% of 200. Or you can say 4 is 2% of 200. So in this example, what we were able to do is calculate the percent. Our next example, we are going to use percent to calculate a numerical value. So this question wants to know 5 is 25% of what number? And as we stated before, remember everything is going to start with the setup. So our setup is over of is equal to percent over 100. Remember, you want to always set up this first. Now let's see. This starts off with 5 is, right? 5 is, so I know 5 goes there where is at. This one is the percent, so I know I put the 25 over 100, so that's my percent. Now what I need to find out is of what number. So this one is the missing value. And just as before, we're going to go through the same process, which is we're going to multiply diagonally. So I know that I'm going to do 25 times the of, and then over here I can do the 5 times 100, and that is 500. Now if I divide everything, that's how I can get to the of. So I can divide by 25 here, and I can divide by 25 there, and what that leaves me with is of. And of is equal to 500 divided by 25. So 20 is the value. So your final answer, 25% of 20 is 5. So those are the examples that I wanted to go over today. Just remember, now that you know the formula, try to make sure you practice using the ratio formula to find different values, whether you find a percent or you find one of the other values.